The following video is something I recorded for the UBFX members group. What you're going to see is unedited. This is just something that I had recorded and uploaded, but I think you're going to get a lot out of this. It is about correlated pairs, and in this example, it's the Euro Japanese yen versus the US dollar Japanese yen and how to maneuver around their correlation. So if this is something that interests you, watch the video. It's not very long, but again, this is something that was directly uploaded to the members area, but I think you will get a lot out of this video. So here it is. This is a video about correlated pairs because my son was asking me about it, and I want to get this on video while I'm still thinking about it. Now, this is a trade that could potentially have happened. I want to show you the trade that did happen for him. This was the trade that happened for my boy. So he was waiting for this from up in here, from this area. So let me get my pen tool out. I'm sure it'll come in handy. So he was looking for this pullback, and then he was looking for an opportunity to go long. Now, that opportunity happened on this gray candle. So this was the pullback candle. It was above these moving averages. The averages were looking to cross over. So this is simply a bounce off of these moving averages. This is an elimination trade. So the entry was in here, and the target he was going for was right in here. But because this one candle was as big as it was, he was afraid of this pullback. That is generally going to happen when you get a very big candle like this. So what he did was he closed the trade at the close, or shortly after the close of that candle. So we closed the trade in here. It didn't quite get to his target, which was just a little bit above here. But the question then becomes, he noticed a correlated pair. Now with the correlated pair, this is the Euro yen. He was looking at the US dollar Japanese yen, and he asked about that correlation. And I explained it to him, which I want to try to explain to you while I'm thinking about it. So let's try to get the zoom level about the same and position the charts about the same. Okay, so what we've got is potentially a trade on the US dollar Japanese yen, and this is the one he was looking at. Let's get rid of this little box here. So we've got the price moving above these moving averages. The averages are just about to cross over, and he was looking at taking that exact same trade again on this different currency pair, just above the high of this pullback candle. But he was looking at the other pair, the Euro yen. And with the Euro yen, if we take a look at that one, that is this area here. So there is a correlation between these two currency pairs. You get this big move up, this kind of pause or sideways, the pullback, and then that continued move up. So that's what both pairs are doing, but they're doing it at different powers, if that makes sense. So what we've got is a little bit of a pullback. So this, it's a decent sized pullback, but then the move back in the trending direction is about the same as this pullback. This is the Euro yen. If we look at the US dollar Japanese yen, we've got a bigger move down and a smaller move back in the trending direction. Now, they are correlated. They are doing the same kind of things, just with a different strength for the moves. So this US dollar Japanese yen had a big powerful move down and a smaller move back in the trending direction. The Euro yen had a nice move down, but a much more powerful move in the trending direction. So we can see that they're correlated because of how the market changes direction. So in this one, the Euro yen, we have this market move right up in this area in here. So we've got this move. This is the beginning of the move down. So if you take a look at that on the US dollar Japanese yen, that's this area right here. So we've got the beginning of that move right here, and then it moves down. Now we've got a bottom. So the price has come down, and now we're making this floor. And this is a good candle to notice. It's a wick right in here. So we've got this long wick candle. Now, with all the marks, you're not going to see it, but this is a long wick candle right here. Now, with this long wick candle following this low, we can see that we go from the high, we come all the way down to the low, and then we go back up again. And if we take a look at this on the Euro yen, we've got that high, market moves down, and there's that wicked candle, that long lower wicked candle right there. And the market's moved back up. Now, this was the trade that he was looking for. this one right here. Price got above the moving averages. The averages come together. They look like they were going to cross over. Took the elimination trade. Now that's part of this market move. What we're seeing now is a bit of a pullback. And if we're seeing a bit of a pullback, because these pairs are correlated, we're going to see a bit of a pullback on that US dollar Japanese yen, which means that if we get that market move up and the market does pull back, if they're correlated, we're going to see a pullback on this pair. Now, the trade that he wanted to take on this US dollar Japanese yen was right here. This would be an elimination trade. It looks exactly the same as the euro yen trade, but it's happening much later. Now, this happening much later, again, we're looking at correlated pairs. So this happening much later means we're looking at a pullback on one currency pair. Being a correlated currency pair, that pullback is going to happen on both currency pairs. And that's what we get. We ended up getting that. Now, we saw the boxes that we had on the chart before. I had a couple of green boxes on here. And the green boxes, what they represented was, I was explaining, if we're going to see a market move, let's go from this one to the euro yen and this green box on the euro yen. If we're going to see a market move in the trending direction, this box is about where I want to see the price stay or get below. Now, if we want to see a market that continues to move up, because some of the higher time frames show that potentially we could see a market move up to this other level. So if we're looking for a potential move up, we have a currency pair that looks a little overextended. It's made this really big candle. It's pulled away from these moving averages. Trying to take a trade in this environment is a bad idea because of its overextension. We need to see some kind of a pullback. Now, the pullback doesn't need to be significant. It just needs to be enough to reset, like the RSI, for example. It just needs to be a little bit of a sideways market movement inside of this green box. And now, that being the case on this euro yen, we're taking a look at the euro USD or the US dollar Japanese yen. We need to see the same sort of thing. We need to see a pullback and maybe some staying inside of this box or a drop below the box. And ultimately what happened was we ended up getting that drop below the box. So this trade just never would have happened. If he had placed a potential, or if he had placed a long elimination above this candle, it just never would have triggered. We never would have gotten that on this. But looking at those two different currency pairs, getting that long trade on this just didn't seem like something that could happen, simply because on that euro yen, we are overextended. We're at this level in here. So we are at this level. We're at this level of resistance. Price is bouncing from that level. Because these pairs are correlated, we're looking for a movement on one pair. And if the market moves on one pair, it will move on the other pair. It just doesn't mean that they're going to move the same, but they're going to turn at very close to the same place. So we've got a turn here, we've got a turn here, we've got a turn here, and we're going to see those turns on both of those currency pairs in the same place, being that these are correlated pairs. That's what we're looking at, and that's the nature of correlated pairs. And even though they don't look 100% the same, if they're making the direction, they're making the moves in the same direction, and they're making the turns in the same places, then you can see that they could be highly positively correlated. Please like and subscribe. I will be putting out videos like this from the members area on YouTube on occasion. And if you want to get everything that I do put out, join me in the Ultra Blue Forex members area. And if I don't see you in the Ultra Blue Forex members area, I will see you in the next video.